brothers and sisters, may the Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus said to his disciples, "Be sure of this. If the master of the house had known the hour when the thief was coming, he would not have let his house be broken into. You also must be prepared, for at an hour you do not expect, the Son of Man will come." Then Peter said, "Lord, is this parable meant for us or for everyone?" And the Lord replied, "Who then is the faithful and prudent steward whom the master will put in charge of his servants to distribute the food allowance at the proper time? Blessed is that servant whom his master on arrival finds doing so. Truly I say to you, he will put him in charge of all of his property. But if that servant says to himself, 'My master is delayed in coming,' and begins to beat the men servants and the maid servants, and to eat and drink and get drunk, then that servant's master will come on an unexpected day and at an unknown hour, and will punish the servant severely and assign him a place with the unfaithful. That servant who knew his master's will but did not make preparations nor act in accord with his will shall be beaten severely. And the servant who was ignorant of his master's will but acted in a way deserving of a severe beating shall be beaten only lightly. Much will be required of the person entrusted with much, and still more will be demanded of the person entrusted with more." The Gospel of the Lord. Are you all awake? Are you awake? Good. Of course, that's the whole message today. It's been the message really for the last couple of days as the scriptures focus upon the return of the Son of Man and also our preparation and being alerted to the fact that he will be with us again. And today, specifically in this segment from Luke's account, it takes another little bit of a turn. It would be very easy for us to be prepared for the Lord to come if we knew exactly the day and the hour. And so we don't. And so it assumes that we're constantly vigilant because of the fact that we don't know when he will really come. And there's another piece that's put into this as well that might very well have been a need at the particular time that Luke was recording Jesus' words for the church community. Peter asks the question, does your story talk about us or is it everyone? And Jesus proceeds to give a parable, and in the parable he suggests that he's talking in a special way first to those disciples and then in turn to all leaders of the church to follow after. Those to whom much has been given, much has been entrusted, much will be expected. And it means, of course, that a position of leadership is not a position of entitlement. It is rather, as Jesus over and over again keeps emphasizing, a position of service. And so it is sort of an examination of conscience, if you will, for leaders in the community, for myself, that in carrying out the call of the gospel, that we end up being always vigilant and mindful of the responsibility that bears with it, living it first and foremost ourselves, hopefully, and then in turn by our witness and example, and encouraging other people to do the same. Jesus tells each of us we know not the day or the hour, for ourselves individually or for the ultimate final return. But in both instances, we have to be constantly prepared and vigilant, staying awake, doing the best we can to live out the gospel call, so that we have nothing to fear when the day finally comes, be it our own individual one of judgment or the entire world in its judgment.